There was a time when speaking Navajo could get you punished. Native children were beaten in American boarding schools for using their mother tongue. They were told their language was useless, backward, and savage. But one day, that same language would become the weapon that turned the tide of a world war. It began in 1942. The United States had just entered World War II, and the Pacific Front was a nightmare. The Japanese had cracked every code the Americans tried to use. Every message sent through ordinary systems was intercepted, decoded, and used against them. The military needed a code that could not be broken. That was when a civil engineer named Philip Johnston, who had grown up among the Navajo people, brought an unusual idea to the Marine Corps. He told them about a language so complex and so unique that almost no one outside the Navajo Nation could understand it. They were skeptical at first, but Johnston arranged a demonstration. 2 Navajo men sat in one room, 2 Marines in another. They sent messages using Navajo words over radio, and the Marines translated them back into English. The generals timed it. The Navajo message was transmitted, received, and decoded in less than 20 seconds, faster than any machine code, and completely unbreakable. The Marines were astonished. They approved the project immediately. 29 Navajo men were recruited and sent to boot camp. They were not just soldiers. They were linguists, inventors, and warriors of code. They took their sacred language and transformed it into a military cipher. For example, the Navajo word for turtle meant tank. Chicken hawk meant dive bomber. Whale meant battleship. They built an entire communication system with more than 600 terms, all in their language. No machine could ever replicate it. No foreign mind could ever decode it. And when they took that code to the battlefield, it changed everything. During the Battle of Iwo Jima in 1945, Major Howard Connor, who was in charge of the Navajo Code Talkers, sent 6 of them to work around the clock for 2 days straight. They transmitted over 800 messages, and every single one was accurate. After the battle, Connor said, "If it were not for the Navajos, the Marines would never have taken Iwo Jima." When the war ended, the Code Talkers were told to keep everything secret. Their work remained classified for more than 2 decades. They went home as heroes that no one knew about. They returned to quiet lives, carrying the memory of a war they had helped win with a language once despised by the same country they had saved. Years later, when the story was finally declassified, the world learned what they had done. A language once beaten out of children had saved nations. Words once silenced had spoken victory. The Navajo Code Talkers proved that the very thing the world tried to erase can sometimes become the very thing that saves it. Because no language is small when it carries the power of a people's soul.